Okay, so we're building off of this spreadsheet that I've been working on, obviously the win percentage, and kind of understanding how, based on the different ones that you enter, the different divisions and whatnot, what are your best chances week to week. So we remember the previous scoring system here. Now we have the new dynamic scoring system, and we've already covered this, but just as a quick reminder, the big takeaways from when that got implemented is it seems to be roughly twice as hard to win Division 3 to 4. So Sorare is trying to kind of create like very obvious tiers for people to fall into. And but then overall, they're just increasing the amount of payout. They're just trying to get more prizes into people's hands. The points needed here to win Global All-Star Div 4, some of the lowest, 296 compared to well into the 300s and stuff. And you see this all through. Again, check out my previous videos to sort of see the progression here. But we're not talking about a few weeks ago. We're kind of seeing how it's progressed. And I'd kind of wondered how in depth I should go, because these last few weeks have been, unlike any other. There's a lot of teams obviously on break, and there's like friendlies going on. There's just it's sort of a weird time, and so it's hard to really look too deeply into the data. Having said that, there are some insights. So. And the other thing I wanted to do was actually start to look at special weekly. I'd originally kind of written it off as something that, week to week, it's so different. It has different parameters. So there's no point comparing it week to week. But I actually want to see if that's true. And maybe we're going to actually get to a bit of a normalized data set where we'll see that no matter what the special weekly is, you still need to roughly score this amount of points to win a card or what have you. So anyways, let's move along. So when we got into June, this was a midweek tournament, and what we started to see right away was Global All-Star win percentage dropped tremendously, and you see this basically with less games, less teams playing, people just really just dove in, or they just stopped playing. But I mean, if they went anywhere, they went into these areas, and so you have a really small payout, large participants, and I mean, you see this here if we jump ahead to the following week, and then even just this past one, this one that's basically just ending in a few hours. Really, anyone that's interested in playing at the moment is putting teams in there, and it's making it really hard to win about anything. But then what's also compounding that is Sorare's, I'm not sure I agree with this, because they seem to have drastically limited the amount, the payouts for these weeks. And I feel like after just making an announcement, just unveiling their new dynamic scoring, why wouldn't you just sort of pump up or just bump some of the payouts for a few weeks, just getting people used to the new structure, and maintaining a bit of enthusiasm before the Euros and then into the summer. So seems a bit odd. I guess they're just sort of taking the lull, and they're happy with it that way. So and then if you look at the winning points, these are still pretty healthy numbers. You need a pretty good side to get any chance of a payout. So it's really not in your best interest, other than to win the Ethereum at Div 4 here. It's not really in your best interest to play these ones. It's hard to win, and you need a lot of points to do so. If we look down at Global U23, this is one of the lowest on record, 149 points. That means if you had 3 guys playing that scored 50 each, you'd be in the payout. That's pretty remarkable. Div 3 was more normal. And down here we see Champion Asia, definitely a lot lower as well than what we've seen in the past. So again, this is just probably due to just obviously less teams playing and things like that. With Special Weekly, we start to see this creeping up and getting back to normal. And you're going to see this as kind of a pattern that, it's a lot of points required to win these ones, and your chances of winning aren't great. So if we go to last weekend here, so again, we already saw this. We're seeing again just some wild numbers here. So you only needed 184 to win Global U23. So again, 2 weeks or 2 tournaments in a row where you didn't need much there. And then Champion America is really the lowest point total probably on record in history, I'd imagine. 124 points would have got you in the winner's circle. And this looks pretty healthy, top 14 out of 81, but it's actually much better than that. If we go here, this is the week, because all 81 people weren't playing. Actually look at this at 24. 24th was the last person to gain any points, and everyone else is just 0. So you actually had a 14 and 24 chance of winning a card here. So pretty remarkable. And I mean, if you click on, there's a lot of them that were this way. This is kind of fun. If, 2 people in Div 1, I mean, I'm nowhere near this, but geez, if I had a chance, I at least would have been in the running. Would have had a chance. So, again, seeing a lot of this pattern, but like seeing some like strong numbers in Div 3. So in other words, some of the bigger players, they're putting in their best cards and they're winning. If you're sort of a middling team or you don't have a ton of great cards, I mean, you just can't really play even in these really smaller weeks. Oh, and then, sorry, these are like my little notes that remind me if I'm on track here. And then this just ended, so or is just ending in a couple hours. There's no more games, so this is accurate here. And so again, like really minuscule numbers. I don't know why Sorare is paying out so little. I feel like they could have just at least boosted this a little, given how many people are still active. We didn't really have any other tournaments, and then special weekly, like up to 405 for just the one position to pay out. So again, not really worth your efforts if you don't really have a chance. And then, so looking ahead, I mean, this tournament starts in just a couple hours. I'm sorry I'm posting this late. I don't know if you'll be able to action it. I should have done this maybe a day ago, but it does give you kind of some data. And in fact, these participants are, I think I punched them in a few hours ago, so they'd have increased quite a bit since then. But at least gives you a good sense, and you can do this yourself. Like have a look at maybe a few hours before the tournament starts and just see where the number of payouts, positions, and then the number of participants for this particular tournament. And as we can see, again, Global All-Star is like a tricky one to get into and have a chance of winning. U23 is kind of interesting here. Like it pays out 20, and there's 300 participants. Again, this is just a couple hours ago. Let's have a quick look. Where are we at now? Or maybe I haven't refreshed this. I might have to log back in. I won't bother. Sorry, it's great footage, I'm sure. So 310. Okay, so basically the same number. So in previous weeks here, when there were 309 participants and 306, there you go. So like it only took 150 points, 180 points. So like I'm wondering if maybe this is going to be similar, that somewhere around 200 or something, maybe a little more, given that we have some Euro games and Copa America and things like that. But I mean, there's not there's not as many U23s in those tournaments as you'd expect. So I still think that like a reasonable number, if you have a good side to put in here, I'd say go for it. And then when we get down to this one as well, Champion Americas, I mean, there's only one MLS club or match playing. This one also could be really interesting in that, there might be 70 or 80 people take part. And in fact, only 20 or 30 of them actually have a roster that's getting any points at all. So this one could be interesting. Certainly if you have cards to play in Div 3 here, go for it as well. And then, as I said, with the special weekly, I mean, it's getting where really that's where people that have the best lineups, that's where they're playing. I'd imagine this is going to be another 400 pointer. There's already a lot of people in there. It's only paying out 5 spots. And I mean, frankly, I know they're trying to boost the interest in it and have like special prizes and giveaways and things like that. But like, I don't know why you'd waste your time, at least if you're at kind of the level that I'm at for cards and things like that. I mean, I'm going to be playing in sort of one of these areas. I might even forego the 0.2 Ethereum that Div 4 here pays, just to actually put in a good side here and here, or maybe here and here. We'll see. So there you have it. I hope that kind of helped, gave some insight. I know it is like right up against the deadline, so you may be watching this and it's already passed, but I hope what I'm trying to show is that like I'm giving you some trends at least, and you can kind of see where this is going. And as you learn this, you'll be able to apply them to future weeks as well. So, all right, talk soon. Bye.